Oh, he freaking Gaz. I'm sorry, everyone. It's been a while since I last updated. Has it really been 3 weeks? Well, then again, since the last time we spoke, I quit my job, went to an anime convention. One of my favorite MMOs of all time came back from out of nowhere, and they announced a new character for Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. So let's start with the most important thing. Holy crap, Dungeon Fighter Online is basically back. If you're unfamiliar, Dungeon Fighter Online was originally released as Dungeon Fighter in Korea, and it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up MMO. When it was first made, it was meant to basically just be this throwaway MMO that run for like a year or two, but then it became just a breakout smash hit in Korea, was retooled, and to this day is still one of the most popular MMOs in Korea. Like, it's like their number 2 game after StarCraft, alright? Which makes sense, because Dungeon Fighter is friggin' awesome. However, the company that made it, Neopal, didn't really have any experience releasing things outside of Korea. They didn't really have, like, the manpower and the funding and stuff to really do that. So the game didn't come to America for 5 friggin' years until they merged with Nexon, and then Nexon published the US release, Dungeon Fighter Online. However, after running the game for 3 years, they didn't manage it too terribly well, and the game closed. Mostly because they kind of cannibalized it with Vindictus. They didn't really advertise it all that well. There's a number of different reasons and plenty of rumors of internal strife. Either way, after 3 years, the game closed, and the only MMO I really cared about went the fuck away, and I was very super sad. And the even sadder thing, it never got a European release. Like, they were working on it. There was a closed beta for Europe, but then, yeah, they closed the US one, and then they just canceled the European one. Well, this made a lot of people very, very sad, and the fuck out of nowhere, like, seriously, the fuck out of nowhere, Neopal, the Korean company that originally made Dungeon Fighter, who is merged with Nexon, I thought, went ahead and they took the Nexon's US client of Dungeon Fighter Online, threw it on a server, and said, open alpha test, have at it. And we're all like, what the fuck? Like, it literally came out of nowhere. People thought it was a scam because you had to log in using Facebook. There was actually a disclaimer at the bottom saying that this has absolutely no relation to Nexon of America or Nexon of Europe. It was all Neopal, in-house, no Nexon involvement whatsoever, came out of nowhere. And the even crazier thing, and the thing that I really love, this wasn't a US Dungeon Fighter either. Like, it's the US copy, but this is global Dungeon Fighter. No IP blocks. Go ahead, European players, come on in. Which, that makes me incredibly happy because, oh my fuck, I hate IP blocks. I hate when servers are divided up by country. I understand the purpose behind it, but the whole point of an MMO is to team up with people from all around the world and get to know people from around the world. It's the damn internet, people. So I really hate it when things are segregated by country. That and, like, one of my friends who's the most into MMOs lives in the UK. So, yeah, it's kind of BS. And I've got, a friend in Hong Kong and a friend in Australia. Yeah, how are they going to play Dungeon Fighter with me? So I'm very glad they were looking into global Dungeon Fighter. Now, yeah, this alpha test came the fuck out of nowhere. And, yeah, it was just the old Nexon client. Like, I never deleted mine. I couldn't bring myself to delete Dungeon Fighter, so it was still on my hard drive. So, when I clicked Game Start, it just did a really quick patch, and it ran. And, yeah, it still has the Nexon logos, and, tries to bring you to the Nexon shops, and it says it's closed. If you screw up your Goblin pad, it tells you to go to the Nexon website, because it is literally the old Nexon install of the game. But funniest fucking thing, even though it's the exact same client, it runs so much better under Neopal in Korea. I'd love to know how the fuck that works. Seriously, it loads way faster, and I'm noticing a lot less lag than I did from when Nexon was running it. Which, again, this is Neopal in Korea running it. Well, anyway, they've Neopal's actually been keeping us updated on Facebook, and it's amazing how much they've really been involved with the players and actually talking about the game. And, yeah, they've given us an update. Sometime, I forget the exact day, I think it was like June 11th or June 17th. Sometime this month, they are taking the open alpha offline, because it was really just a test to see how many people would play. And what they said was they didn't get as many players as they would have liked, even though the servers were actually full a couple of times. They were really hoping to have a more constant stream of players, but because of the sheer amount of praise, just how grateful and thankful all the players were on Facebook, they're like, fuck it, we're going to try to open it again. And they said, yeah, they themselves in Korea are running this. Like, it's, again, not associated with Nexon, and they're like, we have no experience doing this, don't hate us. There is going to be a huge gap between the open alpha and when we actually open the game, because we need to patch a whole lot of things. This client is super outdated, because, like, the Korean version has the female Slayer and the Elven Knight already. And I think they've got another class coming up. I know they've been doing Second Awakenings. Point is, the Korean one is still super popular and keeps getting regular updates and, like, kind of has its own Dungeon Fighter con over in Korea. It's still a big deal there, and it's still growing, and we stopped, like, just before the next big update. We stopped after Male Mage. So, yeah, there's a lot of updating to do, and I don't expect them to get us up to date with the Korean release, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff they want to add, and it's going to be interesting to see, because they're going to have to do their own translations and stuff. I'm really not sure how all of this is going to play out, but either way, I'm just super happy Dungeon Fighter is coming back. I really hope it lasts. I'm supporting it with all my heart. Once again, it's like the one free-to-play MMO I actively threw money at, as you can see from the video clips of when I was playing the Nexon version here. So, yeah, I'm just so super happy to see that it's back, and I hope that it gets to stick around. It's gonna be weird to see how it plays out, because they actually do a better job than Nexon. It's gonna be a little sad, but either way, happy it's coming back. If you're wondering, since you can still go on and play the open alpha right now, you will get to keep, like, your character name and class and your level, but after the open alpha, all of the inventory is getting wiped. When they do go on to the full release, there will be an alternative method other than Facebook to log into the game. However, if you want to use your open alpha character, you're going to need to use Facebook. But either way, it's super awesome, and I can't believe, like, they actually had, like, the head of Neopal write a message about the game's release and what they thought and stuff. And I'm just overwhelmed. It's rare to see a company interact this heavily with fans, and like a Korean company to just go, well, why not? Let's try to do a global release, since so many Western players are left out in the cold. So, again, it's going to be super interesting to see how that plays out. Speaking of companies that interact heavily with fans, next new Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate character is announced. It is female Tengu. Now, normally, I don't like the Japanese princess-looking characters with the Hime cut and, the black hair and stuff. Normally, I'm kind of head towards those characters. But holy shit, female Tengu, I am totally all in, because this character looks goofy as fuck. She really seems like she's having fun, and, like, she's mixing, like, sexuality and weirdness. Like, the one I really noticed, one of her outfits is a latex catsuit with thigh-high fuck-me getas. Freaking getas, which is a Tengu thing. Those are called Tengu getas. She's wearing them in, like, almost all of her costumes, but wow, thigh-high latex getas. That's a weird thing. My mind is just still blown by the weirdness of that. Anyway, she is going to be coming to the arcade release of Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, and which I believe it's the 17th. June 17th, after E3, Female Tengu hits the arcade release of Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, and Phase 4 hits home consoles. The 1.07 update comes out, and we get sexy overalls. Fuck yeah! It's gonna be awesome. So again, I'm super happy to see, you know, another update this fast. Team Ninja has been heavily interacting with fans, which, speaking of which, the Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate costume contest, I like how they announced the winners. They actually announced the highest voted on each character, like, rather than the highest voted overall, which is good, because there was quite a lot of conflict, because guess what the top voted DOA 5 Ultimate costume was in that contest? Punk Rock Elliot in a kilt. See, I told you ladies played this game. Seriously, I'm totally on board. I actually think that's a pretty awesome outfit for Elliot, and I am amused by the concept of male panty shots. So fuck it, why not? And you know, that's not going to be the only costume we get. I'm super interested to see how they all come out. I really want to know though if they're going to make the best costume, because it did win for Akira. Banana Kira. Fucking best costume. Holy shit. So all in. I need this. I fucking need this. Of course, I didn't win, but Team Ninja has kind of been hinting that they might be doing a Halloween costume contest. It's hard to tell. Yo, there's a little bit of a language barrier. Basically, they made a tweet saying that it is coming up on Halloween costume design season, which, yo, blows my mind. I'm like, dude, it's summer. Halloween is in October, but I assume they're, like, hinting that they're working on the Halloween costumes right now, because, yo, it takes a little while to make those costumes, so I could see them starting on them right now, but, like, the way they said it, yo, kind of implied that we should get our Halloween costumes ready. And so I did ask them, hey, does that mean you're doing another costume design contest? Can I resubmit my genie outfit? And they just retweeted that. They didn't actually respond, so I'm not sure what that means. But again, yo, Dead or Alive 5, speaking of them interacting with the fans, right now they're doing, like, a sale if you're playing the free-to-play version on, like, 2-packs of characters and stuff. And in the trailer for that, they actually advertise the tournaments that Dead or Alive 5 is appearing in on the Road to the Fall Classic, which, again, that blows my mind, because you do not see games just advertise, like, fan-run tournaments like that. And heck, on the little information ticker within Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, they were talking about who the winner of, like, the most recent Dead or Alive 5 tournament was. Who was apparently a Genfu player, because they were like, his Genfu was amazing. And, yo, again, holy crap. Also, it looks like there is going to be a summer DOA 5 Ultimate tournament in Japan, so I'm super excited to see what the Japanese players look like. Because I think Japanese and American players play very, very differently. And can I just say, I really hope that somehow they find a way to do an actual Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate World Tournament. I want to see the Western players go up against the Japanese players. I do hope that does happen. Either way, super happy with the developments with Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. My mind is still blown that is, like, the most heavily supported fighting game, like, officially by a company. And I'm still going to call it the triumph of DLC, because I really don't see a lot of, like, press about this game or a lot of talk about it within the fighting game community. I mean, I don't really check up on the fighting game community too much, but they don't really seem to be talking about Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate that much. And yet it's still successful because, oh egad, it has its hardcore fans that will gleefully purchase all of the DLC. I mean, they have my money with those friggin' overalls. I am so in. And lastly, I guess I should get to what happened at the convention. It was a nice ASEN. It is really weird that people don't really talk about ASEN, Anime Central, very much when they talk about conventions. It's a huge convention. I guess because I hear it's like a corporate-run convention or something. It is really big, though. It's like it's like the biggest anime convention in Chicago. But whatever. Yeah, just I went to ASEN. This year, I actually came back with way more actual anime than I did plastic figurines. Most years, I wind up getting way more figurines. But this year, no. I actually came back with anime. This one company that, like, there's a few new upstart anime companies that have me interested, like Made in Japan, which, that we've got Made in Japan and what's that other one called? Like, dang it, I need to reach over to that Samurai Pizza Cats DVD over there. Hold on a second. Discotheque. Friggin' Discotheque. The fuck did these people come from? Like, they had a booth there. They got most of my money was spent at the Discotheque booth because they had the complete Samurai Pizza Cats, both the English and the Japanese one. I went with the Japanese one. It was $5 cheaper and had more episodes. I wanted to get both. It's kind of a shame they were selling them separately, and it was like $50 to get them. I went with the Japanese one. They also released the complete original 70s Cutie Honey, which I just had to have. Holy crap, Cutie Honey drinking game. Every time someone's eye shines, take a drink. Seriously, the eye twinkle in this show is ridiculous. I'm loving it, though. It is so very 70s. I always wanted to see the original Cutie Honey, so I'm happy to see that. Made in Japan blew my mind, though, because they actually re-released New Dominion Tank Police, which Dominion Tank Police was the first anime I ever really loved. When New Dominion came out, I was just so... I was so happy when they made New Dominion, and, I really wish there was more of it. So I get my hands on the DVD, and I'm like, what do you mean there's 6 episodes? I had the old DVD of it. It only had, 2 or 3 episodes of it. So there's 6 episodes in total? I was completely oblivious to this. I never saw the VHSs or the DVDs of the rest of the series, ever. And it's a shame because, New Dominion is, the proper follow-up to Dominion. We all know that, the first episode of Dominion Tank Police is fucking great, and then, the second and third episodes are kind of crap. Yeah, I would say that New Dominion is the proper follow-up to Episode 1. It's good stuff. Weird thing about the Made in Japan release, though, is that it is subs only. It does not have the dub, and they did dub New Dominion. Again, I have the VHS, and I have the old DVD release of it, which does have the dub, but I guess, I think Manga Entertainment retained the rights to that, which brings me to the weird point. What the fuck happened to Manga Entertainment? Because both me and one of my friends, I call him the Eno user, were at the convention, and we were looking for specific things. I wanted the old school hand-animated Appleseed. They have all these CG Appleseeds that came out recently. I wanted the old hand-drawn Appleseed. I actually went up to a booth, and I was like, do you have the old Appleseed? And the lady was like, oh yeah, we've got the old one, and she brings out, the first CG one. I'm like, no, I mean the hand-drawn one. And she just looked at me, she's like, I didn't even know that existed. I later found a VHS of it, dub only, unfortunately, and showed it to her, and she's like, holy crap, that's old. Meanwhile, the Eno user was actually looking for Perfect Blue, and I was like, why can't we find these? And then I go on the internet, I was able to find my Appleseed on Amazon for $6, so I just ordered the DVD so I could watch it subtitled off of there. And Perfect Blue is commanding stupid prices because it's Perfect Blue, but I realized, wait a second, these are both from Manga Entertainment, who apparently is still in business. They have an Xbox 360 app. They did not have a booth at ASEN. I have not seen their anime releases in a long-ass time. So, what happened? What happened to Manga Entertainment? What's the deal with them? I don't even know. Just a weird thing. Like I said, Made in Japan, got their hands on New Dominion and stuff, so that's a thing. Speaking of, with all this talk about anime, if you're wondering, I should probably explain that. A lot of people give me crap about how I pronounce that word. Funny story. When I was a kid, I could never pronounce it right. I would say it's anime. And people would say, no, it's not pronounced anime, it's pronounced anime. And I'm like, but That's what I said. I said anime. No, it's not anime. It's anime. Motherfucker. And like, as I'd be like, okay, fine, it's anime. No, it's like, it's not anime. It's anime. It's like there were slight changes to inflection to the point where I honestly could not understand how to pronounce the word right. So in my mind, I just came up with the most fucked up, slurred pronunciation of the word. So that way, no one could criticize. I'm not even kidding. The pronunciation that gave me the least criticism was anime. Because it's like, I'm not even really saying the letters. I'm just sort of making words. I'm making noises that hint at the letters so you know what it is. And that's why I pronounce anime, anime. And I know that annoys the fuck out of people. It is actually like probably the least correct pronunciation possible, but somehow it is the one that gets me the least crap, and it's a reflex. I've been pronouncing it anime for like over a decade. Speaking of which, I'm gonna annoy the piss out of you now, because yeah, I'm highly, I've been talking about maybe doing anime reviews, and I've been watching some of Sage's Anime Abandon, and holy shit, does that guy make me feel old. I mean, seriously, I'm sorry, like, getting into anime with Toonami makes you an old otaku? Holy shit, what the fuck does that make me? I actually woke up at 4 a.m. to watch Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, non-Z, when it was first on TV. And I remember Dragon Ball Z back when Fox was airing it. Because, yes, it was aired in Fox's Saturday morning cartoon block, but it was aired so damn early in the morning, I think it was like 5 a.m., 5:30ish, it was like the first show they put on, that no one fucking knew it was there, which was the whole reason why Dragon Ball GT Final Bout became such an expensive thing. That came out to coincide with the US release of Dragon Ball Z back when it was on Fox, and no one watched it. And the game, it was a kind of crap game, it completely flopped. Skip ahead a few years, Dragon Ball Z gets super popular on Toonami, and then everyone's like, oh man, I really wish they'd make a video game of this. And then someone's like, actually, they did release a Dragon Ball Z game in America. What? Yeah, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. And then, like, the price just skyrockets to $300 on eBay, because that was actually supposed to be the last Dragon Ball fighting game. That's why it's called Final Bout. And then Atari paid off Dimps to make a new one with Dragon Ball Z Budokai. And then, wow, that was a story. More video game history for you. Anyway, though, yeah, I've been into anime since shortly after the Macross days. Like, the Macross days were a little bit, I was a little bit young to really be into that. I did watch Macross. I don't think it was on TV at the time, though. I think it was off TV, but it was on VHS. And I'm talking about VHSs. So, yeah. If Toonami makes you an old otaku, what the shit does that make me, Sage? A paleo otaku? I think I'm gonna start using that term. I'm a paleo otaku, because holy shit. And actually, the other weird thing that's kind of been bothering me, what the fuck is up with the dub-centricness of anime reviewers? Like, seriously, Sage, Mars Girl, and I think Jezu Otaku, too, are all, Jezu Otaku, the least of them, are all very, very dub-centric and really focus on the dubs and talk about the dubs. Well, Sage, like, that's actually the thing that kind of annoyed me with him, was when he was yelling at people for watching subtitles and having sort of this grudge against sub-elitists, and I'm like, when the fuck did this happen? Like, seriously, I noticed this a lot. And I know a huge part of it is the fact that the quality of dubs has skyrocketed. In completely unrelated news, ADV went out of business, which is completely not unrelated. Egad, if you were to ask me, why do you watch subs instead of dubs, I would say ADV. Like, really thinking about it, they couldn't dub their way out of a paper bag. ADV had some of the worst dubs. Hurts my ears. Like, it's such a small pool of voice actors, and mostly it was the direction they did. Like, even when they had good voices, the direction was frequently really, really bad. Just, I hate ADV dubs. I hate ADV dubs so much, and they used to, like, rule the anime industry back in the 90s in the VHS days, so all you could get was ADV dubs. Oh, it was so it hurt my ears. And that's, like, I just find it really weird how dub-centric everything seems to be now. It's a little odd to me, because, back in my day, everyone was all about the subtitles, and you wouldn't find anyone who supported dubs. Like, when there was a good dub, we'd applaud it, but, like, if you could get subs, you always went with subs. So it's weird to hear people, like, be so wrapped up in dubs, but I'm kind of glad about it because the quality of dubs has just gone up so much in recent years, and the dub voices these days are so much more talented. Like, there's a reason we, like, know them by name now, or a lot of people do. I don't know that many dub voices because, again, I'm really not a dub guy. But if you were ever wondering why I watch subs, it's because the dubs frequently suck, and even when they don't suck, I'm generally not a big fan of them. Like, even a good dub can have a hard time matching the mood exactly, Like, I mean, really, think about what you're asking of a dub voice. The Japanese voices, like, practically have the characters designed around them, and they're intentionally cast to be that character and play that role and do that voice and give that performance, and that's, like, the original. And then the US dub voices are desperately trying to match that. They're trying to have a you're trying to find someone with parallel vocal qualities who fits the character well enough and can also act and deliver a parallel performance, and it's almost impossible to match a performance exactly, which is why when someone really produces a good dub, it really is deserving of a round of applause. I have no ill will towards dub voice actors whatsoever. They have a very difficult challenge ahead of them when they dub things, and I do applaud the people that try to dub, but yeah, I prefer subs because I don't want to take the risk. Generally speaking, when I'm watching a show, I don't want any nasty surprises about voices portraying a character improperly or just, like, not doing it right. I've seen a couple instances of that. And again, like, I was mentioning how sometimes even a good dub can screw things up. I watched Evangelion 1.11 and 2.22 at the convention, and we saw 1.11 subbed. And I was like, I was never really a big Eva guy, but I was, like, way more invested in it subbed. And then we watched the dub, and I always thought the Eva dub was really good. It is actually a really solid dub. I think it's all right. But there was a lot of laughing during 2.22, and that was mostly due to the dub delivery. I think, Shinji definitely does the best he can, but I do think his delivery is way, way better in Japanese, which is no surprise. That's the original voice and all that. So, yeah, a lot of why I prefer subs is just, it's easier on the ears and less embarrassing in the long run, and it gives you a better idea of what the show is supposed to be. But when someone knocks it out of the park with a dub, I do admit that then it is so worth watching a dub. Cowboy Bebop is, of course, just the poster child for the good dub. And I know Ed's a little weird, but you get used to her, and eventually you go, you know what, that was the best dub voice they could have ever possibly gotten. That is actually a really solid voice. And yeah, I tried watching Cowboy Bebop subtitled, and I was just like, I'm not getting into this. Because the dub was just so spot on. And the nice thing about dubs is the fact that you can watch it in a much more relaxed atmosphere. You can, like, sort of just listen to it, too. And then when you're watching, you can really focus on the details of the animation and really appreciate, you know, the animation that's going on, the anime itself. But yeah, when you watch sub, you get the original performance that was meant to be portrayed, and you run way less risk of hurting your ears or hating someone because of their dubbed voice. Case in point, Titus, you know, Square Enix, if you're gonna be charging us $6 to get the Japanese voices in Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns and Drakengard 3, how about fucking Final Fantasy 10? Yo, the game that needs its Japanese voices back? I mean, real talk, I would actually pay $6 to get the Japanese voices in FF10 HD. That way I could, like, not hate Titus, because, real talk, like, I was reading his quotes from, back when I was playing the Japanese version of Dissidia, I was reading his quotes, and I was like, holy crap, Titus is actually a kind of cool character. But I can't stand him in the dub. And that's all because of his dub delivery just being too damn whiny sounding. Fuck dub Titus. That's a great example. If you want me to list the anime that I do watch dub, the ones where I'm like, I don't watch this sub, it is all dub all day, all the time. I already mentioned Cowboy Bebop because, yo, that dub is just so excellent. Number 2 would be G Gundam. Because, real talk, you have to hear those dumbass lines coming out of the character's mouth, like, for real. You have to hear them shout, no, not the Statue of Liberty cannon. And to be completely honest, dub Domon is way better than the original Japanese Domon. I do not normally say this, but the original Japanese Domon is way, way too sedated and does not fit the character at all. It's weird. But dub Domon is way better. So G Gundam, I tried watching it in Japanese. No, that one, dub. And the third one, this one's kind of weird, El Hazard. Because believe it or not, apparently the original people who made El Hazard went up and said the dub voices are the official voices. Like, those are the voices they considered to belong to the characters, not the original Japanese voices, which is weird, but it is an alright dub, and Jinai is amazing. I need to get back to watching El Hazard. We need more Jinai in our lives. Oh my fuck, if I rambled on for a half hour, I've rambled on for a half hour. I'm sorry, people. I keep making these episodes so damn long, but I guess someone enjoys listening to me ramble. So, let's wrap this up. This is Gel. You've been GameMetabled. I am probably never going to get around to reviewing anime because I am a lazy ass, but maybe I will. Anyway, see ya. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and E3 is coming up, so I'm prepping myself to do an episode on that. I am expecting a complete garbage E3. That is my prediction, alright? I think Nintendo's going to have some surprises, because basically anything first party from Nintendo is kind of a surprise, so that's going to be awesome. And I'm kind of betting that Sony's going to reveal the one PS4 game that'll finally fucking sell me on the system. I want to buy a PS4, just there's nothing to play on it. In fact, I've got to ante up. Here's my big E3 bet. I am betting that Sony will reveal a PlayStation Move game on the PS4 that everyone else is going to laugh at and point their fingers at, and it is going to be what sells me on the PS4, and I'm going to be super hyped about it. Calling it now. Probably a sword fighting game, because if you deliver a sword fighting action game with the PlayStation Move on the PS4, I'm there. I'm there. Just 100% in. so that'll be this year's battle tag, pretty much. Other than that, yeah, I'm expecting a garbage E3, so that's going to be pretty fun, because that means it's going to be a real challenge to find something worth raving about this E3. Anyway, this is Gel, and you've been GameBabbled. See ya.